Illustrator contains many different kinds of brushes that can be used to create great looking artwork. Let's take a look at how to both draw with a brush as well as apply a brush to an existing path. Now, I have this brushes.ai file already open on my computer. And what I wanted to show you is we have the paintbrush tool that we can select, and this is used to draw with your selected brush. So the second part of this process is choosing a brush to draw with. So over here in your brushes panel, or up here in your control panel, you'll see that you can choose your brush up here as well. So you can see currently I have this brush selected. It's called the Pattern Brush 28. And using the brush tool, it's going to draw an open path, and it's a freeform tool. So if I click out here and I draw with the brush tool, you're going to see that it's going to draw that path and apply the selected brush. Now, depending on what type of brush you choose, you're going to have different options available. So if I command click to select this path, we can see over here and up here that this is the brush that's being applied. Now, this is using one of the new brushes that is a new feature in Illustrator, which is the ability to have a pattern brush utilizing an image, which is an awesome new feature. Now, I'm going to go ahead and delete that because you can also choose some other brushes. So, for example, I'm going to use this Pattern Brush 8, and if I paint with this, you can see that this particular brush takes on the stroke color that's applied. So if I Command or Control click on this to select it, you can change the color to change the overall appearance. You can also change the stroke weight to make the brush bigger or smaller. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete that because what I'd like to do now is apply some brushes to some existing shapes in this document. So using my selection tool, I'm going to go ahead and click on the path around this banner here. And I'm going to go ahead and open up my brushes panel. And this particular brush is going to utilize this Pattern Brush 26. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And you can see that it's applying the brush to the shape. And I do want this to be the red color, so that's fine. But I want to change the size. So up here in the stroke field, I'm going to change this to 0.75. And now you can see that we've adjusted that brush and applied it. If I zoom in, you can see that the brush is now applied to that shape. Now we're going to apply a couple more. So I'm going to zoom in here. And on this particular path, I'm going to go ahead and apply a pattern brush. So this one's going to be Pattern Brush 28. So I'm going to click on these seashell images. And as you can see, it's pretty large when it's first applied. So I'm going to change the size of this. We're going to go with 0.18 point. And that's going to make it a nice smaller size here. Let's go ahead and select this path. And inside of my brushes panel, this is going to be Pattern Brush 18. So as I hover over these, you can see that it's showing me the name of these brushes. So I'm going to use these flowers up here. I'm going to go ahead and change the size of that to 0.3, make it a little bit more viewable here. That looks pretty good. And now I'm also going to come over here to the peaks path. Now this one we're going to apply another pattern brush to. So this particular brush we're going to utilize Pattern Brush 22. So as I said before, you can either hover over these to see it, or you can pick it from the drop-down menu as well, whichever you prefer. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one, Pattern Brush 22, and I'm going to change the stroke size to 0.225. There we go. Let's go ahead and move down a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and go to this jungle path, so we'll click on that. And in the brushes panel, this is going to use a Pattern Brush 7. So I'm going to go ahead and navigate to that one. We're going to change the stroke weight to 0.63. Then we'll move down here to the cliffs path. The cliffs path, I'm going to use Pattern Brush 13 for this one. So as you move down, you're going to be able to see what the names of these are. So I'll use this one here. And the size of this is going to be 0.42. And I do want it to be this orange color, so that's perfect. Go ahead and click off of that. And then we'll move over to Emerald Lagoon. This is going to use Pattern Brush 8. So as you hover over this, this will be Pattern Brush 8. And I'm going to make sure that for this one I change this one to the light blue color. So in my swatches panel, make sure you have light blue chosen. And I'm going to change the weight of this. We're going to just change this to 0.5. That looks pretty good. And then last but not least, I'll grab the reef path. And this is going to utilize pattern brush 28. So as I hover over this, we can see the names of these. And this one is going to be the seashells again. And then I'll go ahead and change the stroke weight to 0.152. And because this one's utilizing images, I don't have to worry about the color. And as you can see, brushes are flexible and powerful at the same time. I encourage you to experiment with brushes on your own artwork to see just how flexible they are.